The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent, it's about playing the game. The industry, real niggas is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going to dress like this and talk with the bat. The industry got your word meaning nothing. The industry, fuck what you heard because he's bluffing. The industry, money, bitches, hate, but I dare you to try to take a fucking thing off my plate. The industry like, wait, but in the streets we like, get 'em. 17 up in that thing, catch 'em sleeping and hit 'em. The industry, if you ain't got a strong mind, the industry will break you down, it's a matter of time. The industry, vultures with nothing to feast on. See me, I'm getting my beast on. The industry, stay in the dirt, play in the dirt, test the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist, I'm an artist in the industry. So I do what the fuck I want because nobody can finish me. The industry, wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls in the way they survive. The industry don't give a fuck about you, but the industry couldn't make a dime without you. The industry, I'm sick of this industry shit. The industry playing them like a industry bitch. They tried to finish me quick, but I am long, so I stand strong. Fuck a beat. Listen to the words in the damn song.
I've been having these thoughts, and we're just waiting in line to wake up.
Everything that you hoped for, what you dreamed about being a part of, is a fabrication. Your art. Your culture is the shell of other men's ambitions. Ambitions beyond what you will ever understand.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Go Back to Sleep. And let's start this with the random read of the night. So tonight's random read, before I go there, let me take you guys over here to the clouds, my favorite spot in this show. Tonight's random read comes from the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, which is the only chapter in the book of Obadiah, verse 19 through 21, and it's entitled, Edom's land is inhabited by others. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. And the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is the Sepharad, shall possess the cities of the south, and the saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Once again, this random read comes from the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verses 19 through 21, entitled, Edom's land is inhabited by others. All right. Welcome in, guys. Thank you for coming by another episode of Go Back to Sleep. I know this is an hour. It just keeps getting earlier and earlier every episode. But now that I have a schedule for work, we'll probably be shooting for this time as a regular time until further notice. But for now, we're going to stick at this 8 p.m. Central Time spot. And so far, it works out with my co-host as well. So with that being said, let me go ahead and introduce my co-host here and bring you guys to our little Zoom safe space. What's going on, Java? It's going okay for me. I mean, it's like, I've said this many times before that I'm blessed to have a job, but man, getting into this whole swing of things with work again is something that I have to adjust to. I haven't had a normal job in over a year, so this is something that I have to get used to again. But nonetheless, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so far, the job seems okay. The people that I work with seem to be okay for now, although there was one thing that kind of gave me a little bit of a red flag, where I met some person who identifies as a pronoun. That's all I'm gonna say, and asked me if I identified with a pronoun, and I just said nope, I'm just plain old me. But in my mind, I wanted to say, yeah, my pronoun is sir. I wanted to say that, but I have to refrain from that kind of stuff, being that I just got into this company, and I just don't want to get fired, man. Yeah. Oh wait, I don't know why. I can hear you fine here on my end. It's showing. Say something again. Yeah, you're coming up fine on my end. Hold on, let me hear Foxhole. Oh yeah, I can't hear you. That is true. Hold on, man. The technical difficulties of this thing. Always, always, always. Okay, that's good. That's good. I had this problem again last week too. Let me see here. Hold on for a moment. I apologize for this, everybody. No, everything seems to be okay. Let's try this. Say something. How about now? No, hear the dude. Oh man, it's showing that it's working on my streaming program. I'm getting the audio coming out good here. I mean, I see the levels coming out. Let's see. Hold on for a moment. Let me try something here real quick. Well, let me look. No, that's good there. My settings on the computer too is good. Hold on. Oh boy. Give me a minute here. No, that's good. Everything seems to be fine on the connection part. I don't know what it is. Why don't we do this? I'll kill the Zoom and then hop back on. You know what I mean? All right. Okay, hold on before you go. Let me just take peeps to the cloud here. Cool. All right, so go ahead and we'll end the Zoom here and then come hop on back again. Okay, hold on. Let me just redo Zoom here too. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Let's try this again. All right. Now I'm just waiting for him to connect back. And we're going to try this again. Let's see. Yeah, my audio settings are good on the OBS. My audio settings are good on the Zoom. My audio settings for my laptop is good. So let's try this again. I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm just waiting for the sound to come on. Let me know, peeps. Let me know, peeps out there. Because it looks like you're coming up really good here on the program, on my OBS program. I don't see any problem on this end. Your levels are coming through. I can see it. Try saying something.
Well, check. Let's see. The stream's a few seconds behind, so we'll see if it what happens when they catch up with us.
You know, you're coming in clear on my end and also on the streaming part. Let me see if I can put you there. Yeah. No, I can hear you on the audio now.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Okay, we're good. I can hear you clearly now. Well, I can hear you on the Foxhole site.
Okay, yeah, they say 5x5. All right, cool.
All right. So
wow. That was exciting.
Man, it's okay. I mean, these things happen all the time. It happen all the time. Anyhow, as I was saying, like, yeah, it's just getting back into the whole swing of things, and also that little red flag of identifying as a pronoun. That one's a tough one for a working environment. It is. And I think I've said to myself now that, you know, since I'm not working with a bunch of cops anymore, because back then it was kind of easy to openly speak about things without not necessarily offending anybody, because, you know, people are supposedly, with cops, were thick-skinned, and I never really had problems with people being offended about talking about certain things. But now that I'm in a normie, kind of like a civilian,
right?
Now that I'm in a civilian setting, I have to watch what I say. So I said to myself that once the topics of politics or religion or anything for that matter starts to pop up, I'm just gonna make a U-turn and just walk away from it, man. You know?
That's pretty wise.
Yeah. And besides, you know, I'm not much of a debater these days. I stopped that. I kind of figured that I have, you know, I only talk to people who want to hear what I got to say, you know, who doesn't want to chip back in a disrespectful way, and you know, if they're willing to hear what I got to say, because most of the things, if I'm gonna talk, it's gonna be mostly about biblical stuff, man. I'm not gonna like politics, man. There's just a bad taste with politics with me. I just don't like politics anymore. And it's just, you know, I think spreading the word of God for me is a more important thing anyhow. And I know many people are not going to want to accept it. So I'm just willing to share with people who want to hear. And if they don't, if I know that I'm going to get into a conflict with them, I'm just going to walk away without even having to debate, and just make them have the thinking of they won that debate. Because I'm not going to debate. Debate is a prideful thing, you know. It's a very prideful thing, and I'm not down with it anymore. You know, I've gotten into so many things with people in my past job with that, and at the end of it all, it was all about me wanting to be right, and I don't want to.
That's the thing. That's the difference between a discussion and a debate.
Yeah.
A discussion, you know, you're just sharing ideas, but oftentimes someone really has to be right, you know, and at all costs, and that's when it gets into hairy territory.
It does, but at the same time, you know, most of the topics that people talk about when it comes to that kind of like, it leads into a debate, and it leads you to want to be right over the other person by making certain points about, what happens when this happens, and why is it like this? You know, it just becomes a thing where, especially when it comes to politics and religion, people want to be right, you know, and they get sucked into it. They get sucked deep into it and start putting themselves, you know, they start wanting to prove to the other person why they're right. And I just, you know,
being right's one of those things, because someone doesn't want. Oftentimes, people don't want to
be wrong.
Accept that they've been like gone so far astray with their view. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think there's certain types of people that you can talk to that are willing to say that, oh, I didn't even look at it that angle, or oh, I didn't know that. There's certain types of people that you could talk to, but for most part, especially when they say, what pronoun do you identify as? Yeah. There's no rational discussion there at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play that pronoun game either.
There's
say squirrel.
You already know that there's not going to be a rational discussion when they ask you that initially, because they're out of touch with reality, you know. So
yeah,
it's just better for me to walk away from that. Anyhow, we got an interesting show today. We do.
It's a dooley whopper, that's for sure.
This group is huge. It's a huge group. Very, very popular. They were really popular back in the 80s and the 90s. Kind of disappeared a little bit. Came back in the later 2000s, I guess. And yeah, seems to me that the particular head of that group, or the most famous person of the group, man, looks like he's been climbing the ladder for a long time.
Oh yeah,
a very long time. A very interesting group indeed. So
it was only a matter of time that we tied them in.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised we kind of overlooked them, to be honest. Should have been one of our first ones, but you know, there's a lot of content that these people, like these celebrities and these groups, give us. So we still have a lot to go. I don't see this show ending anytime soon.
Running out of material.
Exactly, because they're just presenting it to us, and we're like, oh, okay, cool, you're the next one. Anyhow, so yeah, let me go here and get this article ready.
Or and if y'all are new to the program, what we're doing here is we're taking artists and bands and analyzing their lyrics and their actions and really showing the deeper side of the music industry and what they're utilizing in order to promote a certain agenda that's kind of more dark and Luciferian, so to speak.
Right.
And it seems like at a certain echelon, to go beyond a certain level of notoriety, you have to join that club. And it's crazy. Then their lyrics begin to make a lot more sense because they make it hidden. A lot of these messages.
Yep. A lot of it is double talk stuff. They may, especially in the 80s and the 90s, or even before the 2000s, to be honest, they would talk about a lot of things that make you think that they're talking about something else. And one of the reasons why we kind of labeled this show Call Back to Sleep is because a lot of us have been asleep with this for a long time. We're all guilty of being asleep from how these people have been very elusive in spreading their messages. But now, the state that we're in now, as far as music and art and movies and TV shows go, it's just blatant now. You know, the subtleties are not there anymore. But back then, you know, when I was young, the subtleties were definitely there, and we've all been asleep from it. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we didn't know any better. Like I didn't know anything about, you know, Luciferian stuff when I was in high school. I knew that there was such thing as Satanism, but I didn't know that artists. I kind of got a feeling with the heavy metal bands, but you know, everybody was saying that, especially going to Catholic school back in the 80s. You know, of course they would say stuff like that about heavy metal groups, but come fast forward now, it's like, wow, that was really true. And it's still true. And it's not just heavy metal now. It's in pop. It's in rap. It's everywhere. So that's a good point that you made about what we're doing here. We're breaking it down, and in hopes that we're able to change the culture to its purest form, you know. And also, at least my goal for me, my goal is also to make, you know, to kind of inspire people to make music so they can glorify God as well. That's my goal. So we're just trying to change the whole culture here, man. You know, culture is a big thing. It's a very, very important thing that a lot of people gravitate to and are influenced by. So we're hoping that, you know, kind of sharing all this information with everybody, that people will be inspired to be like, no, I've had enough of what's going on. It's time to make something new and pure and clean, you know, and clean.
Well, like, culture is the way that society is crafted, and the crafting of society has been in the hands of nefarious people for a very long time, and it's about time that we reclaim that, you know, for better things.
Yeah, absolutely. I so agree with that. All right, so let's go ahead and break down. Did we even tell people? We didn't even tell people who were breaking down today.
Nope, not yet.
You want to go ahead and intro that, because it was your pick today. So you want to let them know?
We are delving into U2 and Bono.
Yep. All right. Can you see the screen share there?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me screen share with everybody else out there too. All right. Okay. So usually what we do first, we give a little bio on the group, and then we kind of move on to articles that we find about the group. And then we go towards the lyrics of the song that we're breaking down. Then we do a music video or any other kind of video that we find on the group to kind of, share the information with everybody out there. Then you can make a determination what you think. But it seems to me that every artist and every song that we've kind of, I wouldn't say everyone, because there've been probably like one, maybe two that was like, okay, not really. But still, there was still a little here's and there's, like, for example, the Johnny Cash one.
Yeah, Johnny Cash.
That was a good one. That he definitely is not.
He's not really a part of it, but people try to use his legacy to once he was gone.
Right. And it was
promote stuff.
It was very interesting to me when he explained why he's called the man who wears black. And it came down to him being humbled in God's eyes, which was a mind blower to me, because the man had so many demons that he had to deal with drugs and alcohol and being on the road as far as like an artist goes. But he still, at the end, he still came back to God. So that was a very interesting dig. So I was just happy that
I saw that his suit and his guitar like up close at this musical instrument museum. They had a Johnny Cash exhibit.
That's cool. That is so cool. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here with the bio for U2. This one comes off of allmusic.com. This article was written by Stephen Thomas Erlewine. So we'll do our usual. We'll, switch off after two paragraphs. I'll go ahead and start it off. U2 have spent a vast majority of their career as the biggest rock and roll band in the world. A title that captures not only their popularity, but their importance. Keyword right there is importance, man. I wonder how they became important. Right. Alone among all the groups to emerge from the post-punk era, U2 channeled their yen for moody, experimental aural textures into clearly defined rock anthems and ballads. The kind of songs that fill arenas yet still seem personal. Much of that sense of intimacy can be attributed to Bono, a lead singer who gravitates toward grand gestures yet remains grounded by his belief in humanity and the revolutionary power of rock and roll. This sense of righteousness has never abandoned U2, not even after the group sold millions of albums all over the globe, but it burned brightest on their earliest records, such as 1983's Galvanizing War, when the cavernous guitar of The Edge still seemed flinty, and the rhythm section of Larry Mullen Jr. and Adam Clayton conveyed the grift of the group's punk beginnings. This phase of U2 crested around the time they stole the show at Live Aid in 1985. Man, I remember that. An event that laid the groundwork for the Joshua Tree. Wasn't there a movie called The Joshua Tree? Or is that was the album, and then they made a movie because of that album, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay. The 1987 album that sent the Irish band into the stratosphere, powered by the twin Billboard chart toppers, With or Without You, and I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. The Joshua Tree contained the group's most direct music to date, but still boasted an adventurous production, setting a precedent U2 would follow for the rest of their career. Whenever they got too close to the middle of the road, they darted in another direction. The first and most radical reinvention arrived in 1991 with the dense electronic-drenched Achtung Baby, a left turn that set the pace for a decade of risk-taking that culminated with 1997's pop, a rare commercial misfire from the band. U2 righted themselves with 2000's All That You Can't Leave Behind, a streamlined back-to-back basic album that brought them to a cruising altitude that they maintained into the 2020s. Dude, they're still active? I didn't even know they're still active. As they released new records and toured on a regular schedule.
The band's sound was undeniably indebted to post-punk, so it's mildly ironic that U2 formed in 1976 before punk had even reached their hometown of Dublin, Ireland. Larry Mullen Jr., born October 31st, Halloween, 1961, posted a notice on a high school bulletin board asking for fellow musicians to form a band. Bono, born Paul Hewson, from 1960, The Edge, David Evans, born in 61, guitar, keyboard, and vocals. Adam Clayton, also born in 60, and Dick Evans responded to the ad, and the teenagers got together as a Beatles and Stones cover band called The Feedback. They then changed their name to The Hype in 1977. Shortly afterward, Dick Evans left the band to form the Virgin Prunes. Sounds a little dried up. And the group changed names once again, this time adopting the moniker of U2. U2's first big break arrived in '78 during the members' final year of high school when they won a talent contest sponsored by Guinness. By the end of the year, the Stranglers manager, Paul McGuinness, had seen U2 play and offered to manage them. Even with a powerful manager in the corner, the band had trouble making much headway and failed an audition with CBS Records at the end of the year. In the fall of '79, U2 released their debut album, U2 3. The EP was available only in Ireland, where it topped the national charts. Shortly afterward, they began to play in England, but they failed to gain much attention away from home.
U2 scored one more chart-topping single, Another Day, in early 1980 before Island Records offered the group a contract. Later that year, the band's full-length debut, Boy, was released. Produced by Steve Lillywhite, the album's sweeping, atmospheric, but edgy sound was unlike most recordings by U2's post-punk contemporaries, and the band earned further attention for its public embrace of Christianity. Okay. Only Clayton was not a practicing Christian. Through constant touring, including opening gigs for Talking Heads, U2 were able to take Boy into the American Top 70 in early 1981. October, also produced by Lillywhite, followed in the fall, and it became their British breakthrough, reaching number 11 on the charts. By early 1983, Boy's I Will Follow and October's Gloria had become staples on MTV, which, along with their touring, gave U2 a formidable cult following in the US. Released in the spring of 1983, the Lillywhite-produced War became U2's breakthrough release, entering the UK charts at number 1 and elevating them into arenas in the United States, where the album peaked at number 12. War had a stronger political message than its predecessors, as evidenced by the international hits Sunday Bloody Sunday. You know, that I used to like that song. And New Year's Day. During the support tour, the band filmed its concert at Colorado's Red Rocks Amphitheater, releasing the show as an EP and video titled Under a Blood Red Sky. Very interesting. The EP entered the UK charts at number 2, becoming the most successful live recording in British history. U2 had become one of the most popular bands in the world, and their righteous political stance soon became replicated by many other bands, providing the impetus for the Band Aid and Live Aid projects in 1984 and 1985, respectively.
For the follow-up to War, U2 entered the studios with co-producers Brian Eno and Daniel Lanois, who helped give the resulting album an experimental, atmospheric tone. Released in the fall of 1984, The Unforgettable Fire replicated the chart status of War, entering the UK charts at number 1 and reaching number 12 in the US. The album also generated the group's first top 40 hit in America with Pride in the Name of Love, a tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. U2 supported the album with successful international tour, highlighted by a show-stealing performance at Live Aid. Following the tour, the band released the live EP Wide Awake in America in '85. While U2 had become one of the most successful rock bands of the '80s, they didn't truly become superstars until the spring 1987 release of The Joshua Tree. Greeted with enthusiastic reviews, many of which proclaimed the album a masterpiece, The Joshua Tree became U2's first America #1 hit and their third straight album to enter the UK charts at number 1. In England, it set a record by going platinum within 28 hours. Generating the US #1 hits With or Without You and I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, The Joshua Tree and the group's supporting tour became the biggest success story of 1987, earning U2 the cover of respected publications like Time magazine. Really? U2 decided to film a documentary about their American tour, recording new material along the way. The project became Rattle and Hum, a film that was supported by a double album soundtrack that was divided between live tracks and new material. While the album Rattle and Hum was a hit, the record and film received the weakest reviews of U2's career, with many critics taking issue with the group's fascination with American roots music like blues, soul, country, and folk. Following the release of Rattle and Hum, the band took an extended hiatus.
That was the movie Rattle and Hum. I remember that. I didn't even know that it wasn't successful like that. Interesting. U2 reconvened in Berlin in 1990 to record a new album with Eno and Lanois. While the sessions for the album were difficult, the resulting record, Achtung Baby, represented a successful reinvention of the band's trademark sound. Where they had been inspired by post-punk in the early career and American music during their mid-career, U2 delved into electronic and dance music with Achtung Baby. Inspired equally by late 70s Bowie and the Manchester scene in the UK, Achtung Baby was sonically more electric and adventurous eclectic and adventurous than U2's earlier work, and it didn't alienate their core audience. The album debuted at number 1 throughout the world and spawned top 10 hits with Mysterious Ways and One. Early in 1992, the group launched an elaborate tour to support Achtung Baby. Dubbed Zoo TV, the tour was an innovative blend of multimedia electronics featuring a stage filled with televisions, suspended cars, and cellular phones. Bono devised an alter ego called the This thing with alter egos that these people have, man. That's the Gemini spirit right there, dude. Called Fly, which was a knowing send up of rock stardom. Even under the ironic guise of the Fly and Zoo TV, it was evident that U2 were looser and more fun than ever before, even though they had not abandoned their trademark righteous political anger. Following the completion of the American Zoo TV tour in late 1992 and preceding the launch of the tour's European leg, U2 entered the studio to complete an EP of new material that soon became the full-length Zooropa. I think it's called Zooropa, right? Zooropa?
Yeah, Zooropa.
Released in the summer of 1993 to coincide with the tour of the same name, Zooropa demonstrated a heavier techno and dance influence than Achtung Baby and received strong reviews. Nevertheless, the album stalled at sales of 2 million and failed to generate a big hit single. During the subsequent Zooropa tour, the Fly metamorphosed into the demonic Mephisto, which dominated the remainder of the tour. Upon the completion of the Zooropa tour in late 1993, the band took another extended break.
I remember when Zooropa came out, I thought it was super lame.
Yeah, they did change quite a bit. They became more more like techno. Yeah, they did. I remember because that was 93, like I don't know, 92, 93. That's when techno music started making its entrance into music. So I do remember that U2 kind of went that way too.
And the Fly part, that has some interesting connotations right there.
His alter ego?
Yeah, the Fly, and then Mephisto, which is kind of like, reminds me of Mephistopheles.
I'm not aware of who that is. Who is that?
It's Mephistopheles was I think it was a really, really old school movie. The main character basically made a deal with the devil, or it could be represented as the devil himself too. Both are part of the. And the Fly is kind of like Beelzebub.
Yeah. No, okay, I understand. Okay.
And during 1995, U2 reemerged with "Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me," a glam rock theme to Batman Forever that was produced by Nelly Hooper. Later that year, they recorded the collaborative album Original Soundtracks Volume 1 with Brian Eno, releasing the record under the name The Passengers, which is another interesting connotation. Late in 1995. It was greeted with a muted reception, both critically and commercially. Many hardcore U2 fans, including drummer Larry Mullen Jr., were unhappy with the Passengers project, and U2 promised their next album, to be released in the fall of '96, would be a rock and roll record. The album took longer to complete than usual, ultimately being pushed back to the spring of '97. But during its delay, a few tracks, including the forthcoming first single, Discotheque, were leaked, and it became clear that the new album was going to be heavily influenced by techno, dance, and electronic music. When it was finally released, Pop did indeed bear a heavier dance influence, but it was greeted with strong initial sales and a few positive reviews. The demand for the album lessened in the following months, however, and Pop ultimately became the band's least popular album in over a decade. In late '98, the group returned with Best of 1980 to 1990, the first in a series of hits collections issued in conjunction with a reported $50 million agreement with Polygram. Included in the comprehensive track list was a remix version of Sweetest Thing. It's originally released as a B-side in 87, which charted well in multiple countries.
Yeah, I've noticed with these bands, man, when in doubt whether your record sales are going when they're plummeting, make a best of album.
I know it's like, oh, we're floundering. Let's do a compilation album.
Yeah, let's go rehash our old stuff and repackage it and sell it again.
Yeah.
3 years after the mediocre response to Pop, U2 teamed up with Eno and Lenoir once again to release All That You Can't Leave Behind in fall 2000. The album was heralded as a return to form, melding the band's classic sound with contemporary trends. It topped charts around the world, reached number 3 in America, earned Grammy Awards for the singles Beautiful Day. I like that song, man. It's probably one of my favorite songs from U2. I'm not a big U2 fan, but that song, I like it. And Walk On, and became the band's biggest selling record in years. The Elevation tour that followed also brought U2 a hefty paycheck. Pardon me. Steve Lillywhite, producer of the early 80s landmarks Boy, October, and War, returned to the helm for U2's next record, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. Released in November 2004, it hit the top of the Billboard charts and quickly gained platinum status. The album also garnered 8 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year, Rock Album of the Year, and Song of the Year, for Sometimes You Can't Make It on Your Own. Ah, that right there is a very, very telling title.
Yep.
Which Bono had written for his father. Yeah, we know who his father is. U2 were included into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in early 2005 and launched an international tour soon after selling out arena venues in the U.S. and outdoor stadium shows abroad. The Vertigo tour became the highest grossing tour of 2005. By the time the entire tour concluded in late 2006, its gross of $389 million had made it the second and most successful tour ever.
U2 returned to the drawing board in 2006 by partnering with veteran rock producer Rick Rubin. 2 songs from these sessions appeared on the compilation U2 18 Singles, but the remaining material was ultimately scrapped. The band then turned to longtime friends Brian Eno and Daniel Lanois and Steve Lillywhite, all of whom helped shape the sound of U2's 12th studio effort, entitled No Line on the Horizon. The album was originally slated to appear in October 2008, although the release date was ultimately pushed back to March 2009. No Line on the Horizon was met with enthusiastic reviews, but failed to yield a big radio single. Even so, the band embarked on another lucrative tour that summer. A second leg, originally planned for 2010, was postponed when Bono suffered a slipped disc and underwent emergency back surgery. Touring resumed the following year, and the so-called 360 tour was ultimately named the highest-grossing concert tour in history. Meanwhile, Bono and The Edge also worked on music for the Broadway musical Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark, which opened in June 2011. Not long after completing the 360 tour, U2 turned their attention to recording their 13th album, a process that turned out to be rather complicated. Initially, the group worked with such dance-oriented producers as will.i.am and David Guetta. But as the sessions progressed, the concept of the record changed, as did the producers. Didn't will.i.am work with Beyonce?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Will I Am is part of the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With the band trying out Ryan Tedder and Flood before eventually settling in for the long haul with Danger Mouse. The first fruits of these sessions appeared in late 2013 when Ordinary Love was released as part of the soundtrack to the film Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. The song was nominated for an Oscar and won a Golden Globe. The next song up was Invisible, which appeared to be the opening salvo for a new album as it soundtracked a commercial for Super Bowl 67?
I
40, I don't know, whatever the hell. And the group played it on the inaugural February 17th, 2014 episode of The Tonight Show starring Loser Fallon. Commercial response to the single was lukewarm, and the band retreated into the studio for several more months, unexpectedly emerging with a completed album called Songs of Innocence. Yeah, right. September 9th, 2014. Available in its first month and a half as a free download, Songs of Innocence saw a physical release in October.
Hold on.
On that release, it debuted at 9 on the Billboard 200, selling 25,000 copies in the first week. U2 toured the album through 2015 and began working on their next album, Songs of Experience, in 2016. They set the album aside the next year to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Joshua Tree by touring that album and releasing a deluxe reissue of the 1987 LP, of course. By late August 2017, the first music from Songs of Experience surfaced via a video of The Blackout, which was followed in early September by You're the Best Thing About Me, the first official single from the album. Songs of Experience appeared in December 2017, and the group supported it with an international tour that ran through 2018. The following year, U2 brought their Joshua Tree anniversary tour to Asia. In 2020, the band celebrated 20th anniversary of All That You Can't Leave Behind with a super deluxe box set containing 5 CDs worth of music. 2021's Your Song Saved My Life from the Sing 2 soundtrack marked U2's first new music of the decade.
So here's something interesting about this album right here. I think it was 2014 seems about right, but because I have an Apple phone, I never purchased any kind of YouTube music, and all of a sudden their album downloaded to my phone, and I think everybody had this whole album on their phone for free. And I was like, what is this, man? And I think I still have it on my phone too. But yeah, they came up with the album back in 2014, and everybody had their album. Like you didn't have to purchase it, and you just got the album for free. And I'm like, man, you guys are taking space on my yeah, Songs of Innocence. That's the album, man. I still have it. You guys are taking space on my phone, man. So that was kind of interesting. That's
a way to force your music on people.
Yeah, well, I didn't listen to any of the songs because I wasn't really a big U2 fan. But there's only, like I said, there's only a few songs I do like from him. Sunday Bloody Sunday is one of them. With or Without You, and I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
those are the only
stuff from the 80s.
Yeah, it's the older stuff that I like, but I wasn't really a fan of theirs, I remember some people in high school really liked them, and I'm like, they're really nobody special. I mean, yeah, I guess if that's your type of music. Yeah, that's it for the article. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that because it was interesting that the 2014 album, I have it, but not because I bought it. It was because one of those things that just I got for free. So that was interesting. Yeah. Right.
It's
So
interesting that they chose to name their side project The Passengers.
why? Why?
Because that's a term that's utilized for, if you have some kind of entity or some other type of being, influencing you or hanging out with you or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
They
yeah.
have a passenger.
Right. Right. No. I understand what you're saying. All
It
right.
also could imply that they're not the one driving, so to speak.
Okay. No, I get what I totally get what you're saying. So are you saying that they're implying that they're the passengers?
Yeah, there's two ways to take it. There's two ways that I took it. One is that they're the passengers, which either means, the industry or of another being is the one in control. But it can also imply, this other being there with them all the time or whatever.
Right. I g- yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Um so this article that you found here, which one did you want me to go to? Because this seems like a blog, kind of like a blog site. So I wasn't sure. Let me share it with you and before I share it with everybody out there. Cuz I wasn't sure where you wanted me to go with this one cuz it seems that there's multiple stuff on this
Yeah,
one.
just starting right there. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just blow this up a bit so then everybody can see. I believe this is a blog site, but this is something Java found. So
Well,
let's
the
go.
thing is, like, somebody wrote this, and then some person put this on, like, on YouTube's site as look at this, it's funny, it's a joke, but it was actually a really good article. It's about one of their tours and all the occult symbology involved with them.
Interesting. Okay. Hold on. Let me just kind of do the whole thing here so it fits. Okay. So this site is called zootopia.u2.com and this was posted. It says here September 14th of 2011. Glastonbury, which I believe is Scotland. I could be wrong. Is it Scotland?
Either Scotland or Ireland.
Yeah. I think it's
That's a big festival that happened there.
I think it is Scotland, I think. Don't quote me on that. I may have my geography all messed up, but I think it is Scotland if I'm not mistaken. So it says here, U2 The Occult Review. The first act to the headline, the Pyramid Stage, where U2, who finished the first day of the festival, entertainment on Friday evening. From start to finish, the show was a bizarre space-themed concoction of cryptic speech, symbolic gestures, subliminal messages, strange astrological backdrops. They're so into the astrological stuff.
Yep.
And a laser light show, all of which seem quite unrelated to U2's music. Before we write about U2's strange Glastonbury performance, we thought it would show you a little bit about the band's occult name and their elite connections. U2, Utu, the horn god.
Yep.
Firstly, the band name U2 is taken from the ancient Babylonian sun god, Utu. Wow, interesting. He is usually depicted wearing a horned helmet. Utu seems very similar to the Egyptian sun god, Horus. We all know the importance of the Horus and sun worship to the elite, so this is a very significant choice of name. In mythology, Utu helped Gilgamesh and his father establish themselves as king of the first dynasty of Uruk. modern-day Iraq. Gilgamesh was supposed to be 1/3 human and 2/3 god, and he survived the Great Deluge. It would take a whole separate blog to talk about all the connections between the elite and Iraq, Summer Anunnaki. The band didn't even come up with this name themselves, so it was obviously chosen by someone who was already in on the deeper purpose of the music industry. That is so interesting.
Right.
So interesting. Let me just finish this off here. Charity starts at home. Bono is known for charity work. He is co-founder of One, a charity to help beat poverty and disease. However, his charity came under scrutiny late last year for only donating, I don't even know what that is, 100,000. What is that? I don't even know what kind of currency that is. It looks like an pounds. Is that pounds? British pounds or?
Yeah, or the euro or something.
Okay. To good causes, even though he received almost, I guess, pounds 9.6 million in donations. We find it odd that someone who is concerned about the human race can keep company with the greedy, selfish people who are trying to enslave us. Right?
There he is with Obama.
With Barry. Yeah.
Yep. And there he is with
Bush.
George W. Bush.
Oh, look at that. The WEF.
And there
Wow.
he is at the WEF.
There you go, man.
With Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, South African president, Brian and Tony Blair even. See? He's in bed with all these guys. So
I think and the video that I do have that I'm going to share, it shows an interesting part of this guy who's actually climbed. He's climbed the ladder. At least it
Right.
looks like he's climbed or you know how that picture of the steps of the Masonic order is, where they have certain levels. It looks like that he's climbed that pyramid, or that whatever you call it. He's climbed up. So it doesn't really after seeing that video, this doesn't surprise me that he's up there with these people in these I guess in these circles, you can say.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is the set. The band opened the set with an exclusive video specially commissioned by artist Damien Hirst. The video contained images of his famous butterfly paintings, dead flies from, I can't see that, from his 1,000 Years exhibit of the life cycle of maggots. See the fly connotation again, that's Luciferian. Butterfly is kind of like the monarch programming.
Right.
And the crystal skull sculpture entitled For the Love of God. Mm-hmm.
What God?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Damien Hirst was an interesting choice of artist to work with, as he was born in nearby Bristol, and he is famous for his artwork on death and religion. He was also a friend of Francis Bacon, from whom Hirst gained inspiration for his own work. The skull imagery is commonly used to represent death, the Grim Reaper, Skull and Bones, secret society. We've noticed that this symbol is becoming an increasingly common motif in the fashion and entertainment industry for some unknown reason. Either way, it is surely a macabre symbol of anyone's standard. The butterfly is used as a monarch mind control symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I was just talking to my daughter about that.
Could this have been used to let us know that the purpose of the rest of the set was low-level mass mind control? They did go on to use subliminal messages during their next song, The Fly, as you'll see below.
Lord of the Flies. During the there's that's his alter ego, right?
Yep.
During the intro to The Fly, The words "everything you know is wrong" appears on the screen. This is a very interesting statement. At least someone is admitting that to us, I guess. What followed next can only be described as negative subliminal messaging. We rewound and paused the video to catch some of these messages, which were written in huge, bold capital letters. This went on through the whole song, though the messages were getting longer and quicker, so we could only pick out some of them. We managed to catch the whole of the first 3 sets of words to flash up, which were squabble, fix, Autobahn, mafia, woof, sugar, kill, baby. Dude, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is
Isn't that
so
weird?
Look at, you see that picture? It says kill baby.
Yep.
Look at that. Even down here where it says rape. That is crazy, dude.
They're playing this on a giant screen during their set.
Well, I better watch my words on the YouTube side of things, because I might get another strike for this. So I gotta reword things. Or I would say, hey, look at the picture.
Right.
We aren't even going to try to guess what this is supposed to mean, but can't imagine it was anything positive. The next set of words were fantasy, wife, victim, that word right there that's in the picture, food, sexy, war, the media is the Antichrist.
These are very obviously negative messages designed to appeal to the base human emotions.
Yep.
This tactic is used openly in advertising. There's obviously no need to analyze what is meant by the saying the media is the Antichrist. The next message was a sentence rather than a series of words. This read, I want everything. Death is inevitable. Then we saw the phrase, I want, followed by a list of words and phrases that were moving too fast for the conscious mind to see. If you look closely at the image below, you can see the words, watch more TV. You can get an idea of how quickly these messages were being flashed up by the amalgamation of 2 phrases. This cannot be labeled as anything other than subliminal messages, however you view it. As we mentioned before, this continued throughout the whole song, so we will list below just a few of the many bizarre messages that YouTube presented to the crowd. We have also have screenshots of some of these messages to back up what we saw, as it's quite bizarre and unbelievable. Answer: do you believe me? You are a victim of your parents, environment, your TV, your hatred, your apathy. You have the right to remain silent. Stop. Love TV. Manipulation is art. You are not immune. Every artist is a cannibal.
Oh, gosh. This is very telling, dude.
This says a lot about this band.
Not only this band, but
the industry.
Yes. This is nuts, dude.
And it says, celebrity is a job, waist high, bang, laugh, nervous, king, death is a career move.
Crazy.
And then Zooropa, U2's 8th album, which has a cover that looks suspiciously like a play on the EU flag.
Yeah. You guys can see the picture, I'm assuming, since I'm on the screen share here. It says here, past, feet on the present, religion is a club. I don't agree with that statement right there, because religion is, religion is a club. Reject your weakness. Chaos, contradiction is balance. Evolution is over. And then U2 end the song with the message, watch more TV. And Bono states, it's all very realistic. We can only think that this done to look like they were being ironic, but either way, the messages would have gone into the crowd's subconscious. Look at that. If you look closely at that stage setup, looks like an eye, huh?
Yeah, it looks like an eye.
She moves in mysterious ways till the end of the world. As we mentioned earlier, you two have some connection with sun worship, as do a lot of the elite and their pawns. During their performance of Mysterious Ways, we see a series of hands which are positioned to look like the sun behind the band. Yup, it does. That little triangular figure down there on the bottom left. The hands then go on to make the formation of a triangle with another inverted triangle below. Right there. Ah, there he is. The hands forming a triangle is another common signal used by the, quote, stars. Look at that. The BBC coverage made a point of showing someone in the crowd making the same signal. That's crazy, dude. People are it's very interesting to see that people will copy what
without realizing what they're doing.
Yeah, when they're in a concert or something like that, they'll just watch and they'll do the same thing without even thinking about it. It's very, very bizarre to me. This song seems to be about goddess worship, as the lyrics are about a woman represented as the moon. The moon is a classic and ancient symbol for the goddess. Bono also starts singing Beyonce's song Independent Woman, which is quite significant, as you will see if you read our Beyonce blog. Bono ends the song by chanting, "Move me, spirit." Oh, dude, this is a spell, dude. Reach us, move me, spirit, teach us. Man, I don't even know if I want to even read this, dude. Yeah, I'm not gonna read this, dude, because I don't want that.
Invoke it, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't want that. Whilst looking up at the sky, then he then starts walking around the stage and shouts Judas before singing till the end of the world. This song is supposed to be a conversation between Jesus and Judas about Judas's betrayal. Although, if you look at the lyrics, you can see sexual undertones between them, which is clearly not Christian. Also, during this song, Bono starts leering towards the crowd and doing the devil horns with his hands. The picture's right there. The picture's there's no hiding that. He later repeats this, but this time he directs this towards another member of U2.
We can't think what this was supposed to represent other than Lucifer or Utu, as he was known to wear the horned helmet. Bono symbolically sang a snippet from Jerusalem during Where the Streets Have No Name and Bad. This song is inspired by the poem written by William Blake, and which is based on an apocryphal story in which a young Jesus visits Glastonbury with his uncle Joseph of Arimathea. This story is linked to an idea in the book of Revelations, which describes a second coming, where Jesus establishes a new Jerusalem. Bono claims that this is the real reason why he wanted to play at Glastonbury, and that he was on a pilgrimage, as Glastonbury Abbey is the oldest Christian abbey in Northern Europe. It had nothing to do with the show or the music. Bono refers to Jerusalem when he says, "Bring me my arrows of fire, bring me my chariot of fire, take me home." At this point, the BBC seemed to put an effect on the footage of Bono so he appears to have a halo of light around his head.
Yeah, I see that. Oh.
He then chants revelation, in temptation, condemnation, isolation, revelation, illumination. And then he tries to get the crowd to chant, "Let it go, let it fade away." So he's invoking something here.
Dude, crazy,
Crazy.
man. This guy's
band-
he's like a warlock or something, huh?
Yep,
Damn.
exactly. Then the band keep changing the theme of the set by giving either holy or unholy connotations to their performance, which is trickery right there. Bono is portrayed as quote unquote spiritually enlightened here, but then during Vertigo he shouts to the crowd, "All of the," something very Luciferian, "all of this can be yours. Just give me what I want and no one will get hurt." Now, this does sound similar to the biblical passage where Satan tries to tempt Jesus. "All this I will give you if you will bow down and worship me."
Crazy, dude. This is nuts.
Yeah.
This is like in the early 2000s?
Yeah, 2011.
Oh yeah. Dude. Crazy, man. Astronauts at Glastonbury. We found the next incident the most confusing. Bono addresses the crowd with imagine a man looking down on us from 200 miles up, looking down at our beautiful crowded planet. All borders disappear. The cities connect into a web of light. Conflicts of the world seem silent. I wonder what. I'm sorry, I can't see this because my eyesight's getting bad. I wonder what he would have to say. He must be talking about a divine being, right? No, it was like the astronaut Mark Kelly, of course. All of a sudden, the crowd was presented with video footage of Mark Kelly delivering a pre-recorded message from the International Space Station. Was that ISS, aka ISIS? Wow! Mark Kelly says hello to Glastonbury and then holds up a series of words which float around in zero gravity. The cards read 7 billion, in quotes. One nation, new world order, and imagine it's a beautiful day. He then quotes David Bowie's Space Oddity, saying, "Tell my wife I love her very much, she knows." This reference could be due to the fact that David Bowie played at the first ever Glastonbury Festival, or because the song itself is inspired by Stanley Kubrick's occult film 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is a highly symbolic film with great meaning of the world elite, which is worthy of its own blog. Link to Bill Cooper. There's a link down there if you're interested in looking at that. U2 then continue with their set until Mark Kelly appears again at the end of the song and speaks the end lyrics as if they were a poem. It seems a mystery to us why an astronaut, or NASA for that matter, would care or give any time to a music festival in the southwest of England. It could have served as a symbolic message from the Egyptian goddess Isis, or at the very least, it continued with the space theme, as U2 seem to have a fascination with space and the stars. NASA are heavily involved with the New World Order and the ruling elite, so it must have been linked somehow, or else why give their time to U2? Because they're heavily influential, man. That's what it is.
This may just be a coincidence, but we found this synchronous enough to mention. After singing Beautiful Day, Bono kneels down on the edge of the stage in the rain and starts singing about it. This is done by other occult music stars such as Rihanna, Jay-Z, Eminem, and the Beatles. In the Beatles song Rain, they use a method called backward masking. This was the first time this method was used on a record. The backward message in Rain was, if the rain comes, they run and hide their heads. Bono practically quotes this line when he says, if the rain comes, they run and hide their hair. And then he sings a line from another Beatles song, She Loved You, which is a mighty coincidence. Backward masking has been controversial ever since, with Christians claiming it is being used for satanic purposes. To add another twist to this, the demon Baal is known as God of Thunder, the bringer of winter rainstorms, and spring and summer mist or dew. Baal is also known as Marduk, whose Sumerian name is Amar Utu, which literally translates as the calf of Utu. You know, since this is Utu, it's a very strange coincidence there.
No coincidences here, man. I don't believe in coincidences at all.
Right. Okay, then they go into their song Bloody Sunday. During the performance of Sunday Bloody Sunday, a song about the Bogside Massacre in which 13 Irish civilians were shot by the British Army, Bono takes off his shades and covers one eye while saying, wipe your bloody tears away. Simultaneously, the stage and the crowd are drenched in a bright red light. The message of the song, combined with Bono's statement and hand gesture and the red light, were clearly all linked to violence and blood in some way, which are going to evoke strong base emotions amongst the crowd again. It's interesting that Bono covered one eye during this performance, as this is another common hand gesture used by the rich and famous to show where their allegiances lie.
Okay, so it said that they were drenched in this red light, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that could be symbolic of a sacrifice?
Yeah, definitely.
I can't believe people they don't see these things, man.
And look how many pictures of him with one eye.
Yeah. Oh, you see that picture right there with the cross or the medallion? The video that I'm going to share later on breaks that down, which is very, very interesting. With or without you, U2 decided to use an astrological video projection whilst performing With or Without You. The projection was a spinning view of star constellations with only two labeled for us to see. These were Cepheus and Draco. Cepheus is named after Cepheus, king of Ethiopia in Greek mythology. It is said to represent a king of the stars. Form a square with a triangle on the top. When all the stars are visible to the naked eye, Cepheus can be interpreted as looking like a king with a crown. Cepheus also borders Cygnus, which is aligned with the stone circle used at the opening ceremony of Glastonbury, referred to our I don't have to read that. Draco is significantly as it is symbolic of the dragon or serpent in Christianity and in many ancient myths and legends. We also use the Greek phrase draconian law for any harsh or severe law like those being imposed by the elite in the name of terrorism. To ancient Egypt, Draco was a representation of Taweret. She was the demon wife of Apep, the original god of evil, or Satan. This has absolutely no significance or connection with the song With or Without You, so we can only guess that this was supposed to symbolize coffins of military deaths. Just as he does this, he starts singing the chorus of Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. That's another good song, man. I like that song. Could he mean the relation between England and Ireland will tear the people apart again? Look at the stars. Nearing the end of their set, U2 did some kind of strange and symbolic tribute to Coldplay, who were due to headline the Pyramid stage on Saturday. Bono asked the stage manager to turn out the lights. He then asked the crowd to take out all their lighters and phones and wave them in the air. This made the crowd look like the night sky.
Then Bono starts to sing the Coldplay song Yellow, the opening line of which is "Look at the stars, look how they shine for you." Then all of a sudden there's a strange laser light in the sky which gives the same appearance as the crowd. We think this could have been to symbolize as above, so below. But if nothing else, it was keeping in the set's space theme. Bono then looks somberly at the crowd and says, "There's our little planet spinning around the sun. Some of us doing our best to hold on." We will leave this open for analysis as we aren't sure what he was trying to imply. We just feel that there was a reason for planning such a strange display. All right, we're getting pretty close to the end of this article. And it says the moment of surrender. U2 then went on to play their song Moment of Surrender, a line of which is "I've been in every black hole at the altar of the dark star." Whoa. Interestingly, the dark star is another name for the theorized ninth giant undiscovered planet in our solar system, also known as Planet X, the Destroyer, Nemesis, Wormwood, and most famously Nibiru. Why would Bono be writing a song about worshiping Nibiru or any other planet when he portrays himself as a Christian?
Some BS. He's not a Christian, dude. Out of Control. U2 closed their set by performing one of their earlier songs, Out of Control. Before the song starts, Bono tells his fans, "Thank you for what you've given us." Which is probably their souls, man. We're out of control, though. It happens. It happened. We're out of control. What was he referring to? Their lifestyle? Their ego? Who knows? It was a cryptic way to end a cryptic show that was full of occult messages and symbology. Pretty much these people just kind of opened themselves up. Offerings. Exactly what they were. After the show, Joe Wiley and Zane Lowe interviewed the band. Bono is already drinking a can of something when Joe Wiley says, "Here, we have some offerings for you," and passes over some small cup of whiskey. Bono jumps up and takes it straight away, and none of the other band members touch it. Ha! This could either be Joe acting like they are gods by giving them offerings, or because Bono had not allowed himself to be taken over during the show, which some people proclaim to be the case when artists perform. Joe was appropriately dressed in a pink t-shirt with a diamond-encrusted skull on the front, much like the Damien Hirst design which featured on their show. You can see right there.
Yeah, and that's it.
Man.
See, very interesting article, right?
Yes. They're breaking down their performance. And
yeah, which is pretty cool. Like, it was good to see, like, you don't really hear about one of their actual shows like that.
That is a very good article. That was a good find, dude. It really was a good find. Cool. So we're about an hour and a half into the show already, and I can't stay too late. So we're gonna have to cut this short. Well, not cut it short, but we'll go ahead and do the lyrics for the song that we're gonna break down today. And then after the lyrics is when I'll share the videos, I should say. So let me go ahead and share the. You want to let them know what song we're going to be breaking down today?
Yeah, we're doing God Part 2.
All right, let me just pull it up here. Boom. Okay, so here's the lyrics for the song God Part 2. This is the song that we're going to do. I didn't find the music video. I did find a live performance of it, but I think the lyrics, I mean, we don't need the visuals because the lyrics already, the lyrics itself is a big tell. It's a big tell already. So let's go ahead and dive into these very telling lyrics, man. Go ahead and start with verse 1 and I'll follow you with verse 2.
All right, here we go. Don't believe the devil. I don't believe his book. The truth is not the same without the lies he made up. Don't believe in excess. Success is to give. Don't believe in riches. You should see where I live. I believe in love.
Is there anything special we should break down here?
Well, he's trying to say don't believe the devil, but he's actually admitting that he believes in him.
He's using the whole reverse psychology thing. He definitely is. Because usually when it works, it does work a high percentage of the time. Because my wife is pretty good at using that with the children, especially with my daughter when she tells her to do something and my daughter doesn't do it, and she goes, never mind, I'll do it, don't do it, and then my daughter would want to do it. So it does work. I don't believe his book. Is he what book is he referring to? Could he be talking about the Bible? Because the Bible's not the devil's book. But if he's referring
to the Satanic Bible or Aleister Crowley's books, or
I don't know. That's a very interesting line, though. But the truth is not the same. Well, of course it's not the same. If you're walking with the devil, it's not the same. The truth is a lie. You know, when you're walking in that path, without the lies he made up. Don't believe in excess. Success is to give. Philanthropy, right?
Right.
That's what it is. Don't believe in riches, but you should see where I live. So he's basically stating the truth, but at the same time he's giving up he's trying to say like, yeah, this is not real, but it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And they always use this under the guise of virtue.
Yep.
To get into people's psyche.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all those rich people have foundations and stuff. And he's saying like, success is to give to others and stuff, but he's just using that to get into people's good side.
Right. No, that does make sense. That makes absolute sense. It's definitely a prideful thing because you're showing everybody. And, honestly, in the Bible, it does say that you shouldn't do it to show everybody that you're like this.
Right, exactly.
You should be the opposite. If you're going to you do in a way where nobody sees you do it. Except, of course, God is the only one who sees the good deed being done. You know what I'm saying? Which is to keep us humble. But obviously, when you do something like this, it's definitely going against what God is saying, which is to be humble. And this is definitely saying, like, no, you got to show everybody that this is what you do, You're a philanthropist. You got some money. You got foundations. You helping all these unfortunate people. Nah, you're not supposed to be doing it that way.
Exactly.
All right, verse 2. Don't believe in forced entry. Don't believe in the R word. But every time she passes by, wild thoughts escape. Okay, so this almost, I don't know, man. It sounds like
that's the weirdest verse. I don't like that verse.
It's kind of like you're in conflict within your mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like you're having this conflict within your mind. It could also be a conflict within your spirit, right?
Yep.
Because these are like two opposite values that you're looking at, which are colliding with each other. It's
especially for a song that is called God.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, this is don't believe in forced entry, don't believe in the R word, but every time she passes by, wild thoughts escape. So that's like a fleshly feeling, but you don't think of like okay, so a dude in his right mind wouldn't think about doing the R word with a woman.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
It would be, you know, it may be where a guy would lust on a female, but, and I'm talking about, you know, just some typical normal dude. A dude may lust on a female, but the initial thought is not to like force himself onto her.
No.
Yeah.
So why is he saying this? That part, these lyrics like kind of are creepy.
Well, considering who the group is and who he is.
Right.
Don't believe in death row, skid rows, or the gangs. Don't believe in the Uzi. It just went off in my hand.
Another contradiction.
Yeah. I believe in love. After all he says this stuff, then he has the tenacity to put that word love in there. This is so bizarre, dude. This is,
yeah.
You're almost saying, okay, so you're saying all these evil things, but at the end of it is soft. It's supposed to be like soft and gentle, and it's supposed to be all about love. This is so bizarre.
It's just
dude.
contradictory. It doesn't really fly.
No, it doesn't. It's very, very bizarre. This is, I mean, I would say that this is probably like a Luciferian type of thinking, for sure.
Right. Because what kind of love, like love to who? Love to, like, why would all these issues come up in this person?
Clearly, this is encouraging people to live more in the flesh.
Yeah, hedonistically.
This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm beginning to like. This is what's coming to my mind right now. Is
Which
that
goes back to that "do what thou wilt" thing. The Aleister Crowley.
Yep, it's definitely promoting you to live in the flesh. You know, you're saying, oh, you know, God wants you to live in a certain way, but you know it's hard because you're human. And I really hate that. Oh, we're only human. That's a cop out. Like,
yeah.
For people in the faith and people who have this relationship, you try your best not to live in the flesh, because if you do that, man, you're going to be part of this. You'll just be part of this dying world, you know? So to me, that's a cop out. And this is probably saying the opposite, like, oh, it's okay, man. Like, you're human. It's okay. You make mistakes, and it's okay to live the, you know. Yeah, this is what I'm getting from this type of lyrics. So,
and this one is also intense. The next verse. This is all Bono speaking, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe in cocaine. Got a speedball in my head.
Oh.
Then it says, I could cut and crack you open. What? Did you hear what I said? And it says, don't believe them when they tell me there ain't no cure. The rich stay healthy, the sick stay poor. I believe in love. The hell?
you know what a speedball is, right?
Yeah.
For those people who don't know what a speedball is a combination of meth and heroin, because you got the meth when you're up, you have the meth, and to bring yourself down, you take the heroin to get you down. So that's pretty much what a speedball is.
Definitely make your heart explode.
So will the cocaine, man.
Yeah.
The famous words of the late Rick James, man. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
And this whole like I could cut and crack you open. That's where did that come out of? That was just out of nowhere.
I think it was just a muttered kind of word. Because after that, he followed up with, "Did you hear what I said?" You know?
Like, what kind of influence was he experiencing when he wrote this song?
Oh, I think we have a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
The spirits were being summoned, man. And clearly this guy, he's like a male version of a witch, which is probably like a warlock or something.
Warlock.
Or a wizard or something like that. I mean, It sounds kind of weird. You know, when I hear those kind of things, I'm thinking to myself, Merlin the Magician and just kind of cartoonish characters, but it's a real thing, dude. Like, these people actually live these type of lives where they're casting spells on people, man, which is, it's a demonic thing. It's a very, very demonic thing. It's Satanism, but they call it something else. And then right here where he says, "Don't believe them when they tell me there ain't no cure. The rich stay healthy, the sick stay poor," which is true. That's very true. Look at Big Pharma.
Yep.
They don't find a cure. They make band-aids is what they do. They don't cure ailments. They just give you medicine that temporarily makes you feel good and give it a few weeks, months, years, and you're sick again. So, all right, let's go to the fourth verse here. Oh, by the way, I want to say hello to a boneless chicken out there in the foxhole, Q&A holes, Dacub. Thank you guys for being here. And also Liz on the YouTube end of things. Thank you for being here. If there's more people out there on the YouTube side of things, I don't see you in the chats. I do see people coming in and out. So thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Let me see. Nobody on the Twitch end. And I can't go on the CloutHub because it'll show everybody here on the show. But let me read what Boneless Chicken, he says here, "I bought every YouTube album, went to shows, found something to love in each, now just deflated." Don't feel that way, man. Don't feel that way. You know, I have to admit, there are a lot of songs that we dug into, and there are artists that we dug into that I feel like, oh man, like I still enjoy their music. So, you know, we're just bringing this to awareness to people, man. Like, I don't know. I don't want to encourage like listening to the music all the time, because for me it's kind of different. I still have to play this. Well, I don't have to, but I still play this music because of my DJ thing going on. And at least I'm aware of it, and I don't make that, which is kind of difficult to do. I don't make that the lyrics of that song try to cast a spell on me, but at the same time also I can see that sometimes when I have some impure thoughts, it's because of the stuff that I'm putting into my ears. So I'm having a hard time myself, man. Don't feel that way. You're not the only one who feels this way, dude. And just because we report all these, like, just because we kind of share this with everybody, it's hard for me to let go of these kind of songs because I enjoy them, dude. I enjoy them. I really enjoy. I'm not gonna lie, man. I still enjoy secular music. You should check out the song Yahweh at the end of How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb and See What's in There. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll cut and crack open the head of a to get to the speedball. It's all inside out. It's not you, it's me. I just now believe Bono is a very bad individual, and it's really changed things for me. Yeah. And you'll be surprised, the video that I'm going to share after this, like he's been I believe he's been groomed. I believe he's been groomed to climb up this I don't know what you call it. What would you call it, Java? He's definitely been groomed to influence people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's high up there. I mean, he's meeting people in the World Economic Forum, and
Exactly. Presidents and stuff.
Yeah, if he's rubbing elbows with these people, he has a very high position at this point. He's probably like Jay-Z, man. You know?
Yeah, he's up there with Jay-Z and Madonna.
Oh,
Those three.
I agree. No, absolutely. I totally agree. I can enjoy a lot of it and know many of the artists are just doofuses. It's something different with Bono now. Yeah, I think he's been there for a while, but after reading that article with the concert and how they were subliminally pushing out messages there, that's a very telling thing, because that was back in 2000. You said 2011?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right, let me read verse 4 here. Don't believe in Goldman, his type like a curse. Who's Goldman?
Like Goldman Sachs, I think.
Oh, okay. His type like a curse. Instant karma's gonna get him if I don't get him first. Huh.
Even though he rubs elbows with all those people. I mean, World Economic Forum, basically.
Could this not be Bono talking?
Right.
Don't believe that rock and roll can really change the world as it spins in revolution. Yeah, it spirals and turns. I believe in love. This is a bizarre song, bro.
It's so weird, right?
Yeah. It is very bizarre.
Okay, and then it says, don't believe in the 60s, the golden age of pop. You glorify the past when the future dries up. Heard a singer on the radio late last night says he's going to kick the darkness till it bleeds daylight. Which I thought was a weird phrase. And it says, I believe in love.
He ends all these verses with I believe in love.
I checked this one out. This one's really crazy.
Love, 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 love. Feel like I'm falling. I'm spinning on a wheel. It always stops beside a name, a presence I can feel. I believe in love. Stop.
A presence he can feel.
Oh, yeah. A presence I can feel. And don't you think it's weird that there's 6 verses too? There's 6 verses to this song.
Right.
There's no chorus. It's just all verses.
Yeah. And you have all these weird lyrics, but the song's called God Part 2. This
is very, very bizarre, dude.
Stax pointed out that Bono was at the State of the Union speech.
The most recent one?
Yep.
Wow. Dude, so this dude, he's definitely up there when it comes to ranking. He's definitely up there. I believe he's been what was the word that I said earlier? Jeez, I'm losing it. He's definitely been they're building him up. They're building him up to be one of these dudes who heavily influences people.
Yep.
They're grooming him. There you go. They were grooming him for sure. Wow. This is a bizarre one, man. You chose a really bizarre one. I'm getting very different. I'm getting different. Like he's battling within himself. Then he goes to another. It could be like he's going to. He's singing as another character. I don't know. I don't get where it's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just all over the place, but
you don't know if it's him singing or if it's a third person singing, or is it both? I don't know.
Well, the fact that you can feel a presence is very telling at the end. Like that's what I think he's being influenced. Talk about, a non-human influence.
Huh.
Pretty much. And I think it's
this is a very it's bizarre. Really is. But I think after watching these videos that I'm going to share here, that there might be a better understanding of these things. Let me go back to the Zoom thing here. All right. So, this is the part where I have to end it for the YouTube people, and also just YouTube. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, I don't know how CLOUTHUB is with sharing videos and stuff. I don't know if I'll get a strike or whatever, but I'm going to try it out. And if I do, then I do. So, I'll be live again tomorrow for those on YouTube. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central Time for my fellowship show, My Journey with Yah. Those shows are going to be tentative as far as schedule goes, because my schedule for work is weird, man. It just shifts. It changes every week. So I'm going to have to go with a week out to tell what my schedule is going to be as far as the fellowship shows go. But nonetheless, I'm still going to do the fellowship shows, and I'm trying to shoot for either 2 or 3 shows a week when it comes to fellowship. And I'm trying to keep this show as well. This is a very, very fun show to do. I think you can agree with me on that, right, Java? I mean, I love these are very fun to do. Is there anything you want to plug for the people out in YouTube?
You could check out my podcast if you would like. It's a bit of comedy in your week. Very short, less than 5 minutes typically. Called 4 minutes and 20 seconds. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and Podchaser. Any of those platforms. 4 minutes, 20 seconds.
Cool. Well, that's the show for you guys on the YouTube sides tonight. If you want, what I'll do is, hold on for a moment because the other computer's a distance away. I'll drop my link tree if you want to continue to join in, just to watch the videos that I'm going to share, and also the music video, so we can kind of break things down and then end the show from there. So let me just type this in real quick. All right, so those for you on YouTube, those are the link trees right there. I'll be live on the Foxhole or Pilled, CloutHub, I believe Twitch and Twitter. Those are the platforms that I'm gonna be keeping my live stream on, and you can watch the videos from there. So, hope to see you guys. If not, I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow night for the fellowship show. So let me go ahead and end it for YouTube. And thank you again for hanging out with us tonight. God bless you guys on the YouTube side.